Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel. My name is Paulo and I'm here for another video. In this video I'll just show some pens and talk to you about some small details about pen collection. Sorry. So, I have to say that I collect and use pens for many years, and so I acquired many, maybe hundreds, throughout the years. So, although I make YouTube videos, I also watch some YouTube videos from other people. And there are some videos by other people about pen collecting. And that includes some videos by SPRE Brown about collecting versus accumulating, the differences between both approaches. There was a video by Waska Squirrel about curating a fountain pen collection, for example, and some time ago I watched the video by Hemingway Jones where he talked about there would be no point about buying just another pen with the same kind of construction, with the same kind of nib. He actually even uses the idea of the Yovo nib, another Yovo nib pen. So what's the meaning, or what's the point to get some other pen just because it has a different finish, for example, but it delivers exactly the same kind of writing experience? So that is something interesting that I thought about, and I understand all those perspectives, I really do, and there is really no big point of buying a pen that has the same exact nib, for example, with the same exact design, maybe, unless you want to have the same kind of pen with several different nibs, like even the same branded nib, but like an extra fine, medium, so on. But I understand that, but I have to say that I have a lot of fun of having some pens of the same of the same kind, just with another finish or another color. And so that is why today I wanted to talk about these things. I have to say, I have this box just to start showing the pens. So I have to say that I'm not the only one who thinks like that way. I would say there are many other people, and there are many collectible pens in that matter. And I will show you just some examples, and this is more like of showing off some pens and talking about them, but in this regard, pens that we could collect. And then I will show you the pens that I would like to have them all if I could afford them, but of course I can't. Anyway, let's start. So, one of the most famous pens ever is also highly collectible. Not because it's extremely rare, but it has some very common variations, some very rare variations, and there were lots of colors and caps and every kind of details, because it was made for a long time. One of these pens, the pen I'm talking about, is this very famous fountain pen, one of the most famous fountain pens ever. And this pen, let me just bring the light closer. This pen is obviously the Parker 51. The Parker 51 is an interesting pen. It could be a vacuum filler like this one. The filler is the rubber diaphragm is not working. It could be like this, which is an aerometric version, and there were also cartridge versions of this pen. So this is a very well-known pen with this very distinct design, with this kind of cap. This one is a sterling silver cap, which is just gorgeous. It's oxidized, it's stained, but it's a beautiful pen with the blue diamond on the clip. Then there were more regular clips. So this is a very interesting pen. I understand how many people collect all the variations they can get into, and some people also go into some costume-made replicas of this pen, and some also go into some copies of this pen by another brand. So this is kind of fun, and I understand that. But I have some Parker 51s, more than the ones that I'm showing you here today, but I do not collect them actively. But I have some, and there are some that I don't have here in the table, but they are kind of my favorites. One black with golden cap that belonged to my grandfather, and I have 3 custom ones made with parts made by Ariel Kulok in Argentina, and one of those is yellow, and I love yellow pens with a yellow jewel on top of the cap. But I'm not actively collecting all the variations of this pen. Another pen, and yes, another Parker. Maybe I'll go through the Parkers that I think go into this category. It's the Parker Vacuumatic. It's an interesting pen, a very beautiful one. Chronologically, it preceded the Parker 51. I really like them. This one is one of those that I had in working condition until some time ago, and I think I cannot feel any air going out, so I think it's not working anymore because the bladder goes off. So I need to check it with water and then try to decide if I will work on it, or I'll maybe just sell them. Vacuumatic pens are not my favorite pens. I have here the variations in green, brown, and also in blue, but there were also other variations, like smaller variations in black, in some other colors. Just these laminated celluloid colors is just one of the variations of this pen that also had lots of variations. The nibs on these pens are really beautiful, with the arrow, the Parker arrow on the nib. So I really like these pens, but they are beautiful. I have one that I still have to restore, and if I restore it, I think it will be one of my 2 favorite Vacuumatic pens, which is one like that but gray with double jewel. It's amazing, but it needs a new bladder, and I didn't work on that yet. Maybe one day. We don't always have the time that we want. So this is just one of the pens that I think they are highly collectible. Another pen that I think it's highly collectible is not one pen, and there are people that do that because there is also a book about it, are the Japanese pocket pens. Like these. When I talk about Japanese pocket pens, I talk about pens with a very long cap. Compare it with the cap of the Vacuumatic, it's much longer, with a very small barrel. Compare it with the barrel of the Vacuumatic. I think the Vacuumatic is kind of a regular smallish pen. And then they have a very large section. And if I compare this section with the section of the Vacuumatic, it's kind of ridiculous. Look, it's this. So, and that allows for a small pen, not like a miniature pen, because it is not. It is a smaller pen, not that small, but smaller, that becomes a full-sized pen, even almost an oversized pen regarding the length when it's posted. These were made by the 3 main pen brands in Japan. This is a Sailor, this is a Platinum, but it was also made by some other brands that are not well known today or may not even exist anymore. But lots of brands made these pens, these Japanese pocket pens, and this is a Pilot. This is the beautiful, wonderful, amazing Pilot Miu. Amazing because it's really very beautiful design with integral nib. So this is the concept is this, and there are people that collect all the variations of one of the brands or of all of the Japanese brands. But there are more brands that fall, or more pens that fall into this category, which are, for example, I have here a very simple pen that many people will recognize, and it is the Shaffer No Nonsense. And the Shaffer No Nonsense was a school pen that had the same kind of overall design as the vintage Shaffer flat top from a few years ago, from the 1920s. But it is a very simple pen, cartridge, instead of a fancy lever filler. It's just a simple cartridge filler pen with an interesting steel nib. I'm not sure if these were made also with some gold nibs in some variations, but it is a very simple pen. Cartridge converter, this one has ink inside. Cartridge converter pen with very simple steel nibs, very simple design, very effective, kind of classy and classic, and there are lots of variations regarding colors, regarding variation has special engravings because these pens were inexpensive, so they were good pens for some advertising. So some companies got those to engrave with or to print with some marketing material. So it's interesting. It's an interesting pen, and I can clearly understand why people collect these. I have maybe 5 or 6, too many already, I know, but one that I really want, I don't have it still yet, is a yellow version of this pen. Another pen that I want to talk about, which I find really nice, let me take also these 3 out of the way, is one that I have 2 pens of, which is the Waterman Culture. Waterman Culture was a pen that is no longer made. All of these pens are no longer made, except the Pilot, not this version, but the Pilot Pocket Pen. There is still the Pilot Elite, but otherwise any of these pens are still made. And this is not still made anymore. But this is a very interesting pen. This was the Waterman Culture, which was available in several transparent colors like these. And this is a pen with an amazing, kind of a big nib for a very inexpensive pen. When I bought it, they cost around 10 euros or just slightly less than that. And they are really good pens. They are cartridge converter pens, and they were really good. They wrote perfectly well, and they were really good. You could collect all the versions. There was also the Waterman Filias, which was a fancier edition of the Culture with some other colors, but I only have these 2, and I really think they are amazing. And there are not that many colors, for example, as you have with the Shaffer, but anyway, this pen I would recommend you to get if you find one, not because of the collectability of it, but because of the writing experience, because they are really, really good pens. The next pen that I'm going to show you is a pen that is, yes, I'm going to the Chinese market, and this will be maybe a reason for some debate or controversy, is, for example, the Ginha 100. I like these pens a lot. They are kind of replicas of the Parker Centennial to fold, and these Ginha 100 are really well made. They write well, they are very inexpensive, or also around the 10 euro point, and they are large pens. They are not oversized, but they are large pens. They are very comfortable to use, and they are really good if you want to take them. Imagine that you go to the countryside to write somewhere during your holidays. You're afraid to lose them because you're around the pool, or you're having some, I don't know, just imagine that you are in the sun and having good time, and you may lose one of those, for example, and they are very inexpensive to replace. They are very good writers, and imagine you can have many of them and ink them with some different inks to allow for, imagine that you're writing something with some code, some color coding. You can have one with green, one with yellow ink, and the other one with orange ink or red ink. So you can have many things. I think they are useful, I think they are good. Cartridge converter pens, very simple. I see some people having many. Maybe I have 7 or 8 of those. I'm not showing all the pens that I have, because these are the pens that I don't collect one of each. They are just pens that may fall under that frame for some people. The other version is, or the other pen, that pen, the Ginha 100, is still made today. And this is still made today, obviously, and it is very recognizable. This is the Lami Safari. I have 3 here, 3 yellow ones. I love yellow pens, and they are simple, kind of an inexpensive pens, but they are more on the 20-something euros instead of the 10 euros of the Ginha. But they are good pens, they are good writers, if you can get along with the triangular shaped section. They are cartridge converter pens, they write well, and there are lots of variations. This pen really may be compared with the Shaffer No Nonsense. You have lots of variations, so you can collect a lot of those and have kind of a rainbow spectrum of those. So this is also an interesting one. And there is also another one that falls more into a little bit more expensive thing, which is the Waterman Karen. And Waterman Karen is a wonderful pen. This one is inked. This one is the deluxe version that has this metal cap with silver finish. It has a wonderful nib. It is a cartridge converter pen. It is really beautiful. It has a very unique design. I like it. There are lots of colors and different finishes, but you will spend more than 200 euros in each. I think these two cost me around 30 euros. This cost me around 30 euros in used condition in a store, and this one I bought new many years ago. I don't remember how much I spent on it. So it is a very nice pen with this design. This was one of the early versions of it. It was very difficult to find. I had to pre-order it next to a store here in downtown Lisbon, and I like this coral red color. It's very pleasant to look at, and it's really a very nice pen to write with. And you can also collect them all. I'm not interested in collecting them all. I just got these because I wanted one, and the other two I just got because they were so inexpensive that I couldn't pass them. Maybe I will sell them one day, because I don't really want to collect them all. It's not that kind of model. Now we will go for finally the part of the pens that I would have one of each if I could. And in this collection, or in this set, there are many. So let me reach out of frame to get here one of the cases. And in this case, I have one of the pens that I wanted to collect one of each. I have one of each that I could find. Now I know that in India there are some other variations, and I will try to get a few more if I can. This is the Parker Frontier. This is an amazing fountain pen, very inexpensive. It is no longer made, unfortunately, but they were really... Oops, let me bring this up. So I have some. I have all that I could find so far. So there are many variations. These are Indian ones. So from demonstrator to this chroma flare that kind of change colors. There are very interesting versions. My favorite one was let's not call it favorite. My first version, my first pen of those that I bought myself was this one. I took it to college so many times with me. It is an interesting pen with this black nib, the black cap, and the black barrel with some kind of, it's not shimmer, but almost. There are speckles in it. I like this pen a lot. I wrote a lot with it when I was in college, and this is my my favorite Parker Frontier of them all because it was my first, but then I thought I could get one of each. And this is a highly collectible fountain pen. There are some versions, but I think I have most of them, so I would say maybe 20, maybe if there are 30 variations, it is already a lot. So you can start collecting them, and there are not that many to be found, but they are interesting. Let me get some other box to the table, another tray, and this video will be a little bit long, but I want to show you all that I'm talking about. So I try to find all the Parker Frontier pens that I can get. My first pen that I bought when I had some when I started working and I had the salary was this one. This is the Parker 100. It was this one I got after that. The Parker 100 is a beautiful pen. It is an amazing inspiration on the Parker 51. This one already has some wear. It has a hooded nib. It is a cartridge converter pen. I love this pen. I don't remember. There are 6 or 7 variations of it. This one cost me 300 euros. Actually, 299 euros. And I cannot afford to have them all, obviously, but if I could, I would, because this pen, to me, is one of the most amazing fountain pens there are. So I would love to have one of each, but I don't, and I don't think I ever will. So another pen that I want to show you on this kind of range is this, and in this case I'm bringing them all to the table. This is the Lamy CP1. The Lamy CP1 is a slim Lamy pen, as you can see. That is very interesting, and there were some variations of it. Not that many, but some. And in this case, I'm really trying to get all the variations that were. There are also variations regarding the width of the pen. You can see the diameter of this pen is bigger, the nib size is bigger. So there are some variations. This one still has a sticker that you can no longer read, made of steel. Another made of steel. I have one made of silver that I forgot in the other room, so doesn't matter. This is a white one. So there are lots of them. I'm not going for the silver one right now because it's on the other room and this is enough for you to see. I'm still trying to find the Lamy CP1s that I don't have, and there are also some like this, some Mercedes Benz, because these were kind of an attractive pens for that, for advertising, and they are very simple. Cartridge converter pens, I don't think it has anything, no. But they are very simple, very nice working pens, slim. They get very long when posted, but they are attractive and they are hard to resist, and I'll try to get them all, but the ones that I'm still missing are on the expensive side of things. Let me put this box to the side. So let me just find some room here and let me show you the other pens that I want to show you. Okay. Oh, I missed one of the pens, another pen that I wanted to have here, but never mind. It's not serious. I had this pen here, but it's not that one that I want to show. This is a Lamy 2000. It does not attract me anymore, but it was this one. It is kind of inspired by it. It is the Lamy Ion, which is a pen that I think it falls a little bit between the Lamy CP1 and the Lamy 2000. It has this clip, it is a big pen, cartridge converter with this slightly different kind of nib, different from the Lami Safari, and it is a metal pen. It's kind of recent. I think the first one was from 2019. I'm not sure if they are still making them. I don't think so, which is sad because I would like this to go on with time. But there were five, I think, versions of it. The green, the dark green, the black that I also have, that I mistaked for the Lamy 2000. There is a red, a blue, and a silver one. So I will try to get all of those three that are still missing in my collection, and then I'll have them all, and I'll just hope my wallet doesn't, but I really hope they still make, they'll keep making more, because I would like to have more variation of this pen, because I really like them. Again, you just need to have budget to get them all. Another pen that I would love to have them all is also these. These are on the 20 something euros. They are the Sailor Compass or Sailor 1911 Junior, and they are a very interesting pen, more kind of inexpensive with steel nibs, and they are very simple pens. I really like them, but there are many of those, and even 20 euros plus 20 euros times how many pens, they get quite expensive. So sometimes I buy one, but I don't think I will collect them all. Another pen that I would love to have them all, if I could, is a family of pens, not just one model, and it is the Aurora, the Aurora 98, the vintage version. No, this is not. This is it, sorry. The vintage version, or the Aurora duocart in several versions, like this one. This is the Aurora 2-cart K, and this is the modern Aurora duocart. I would love to have them all. There are very pretty colors, some pretty colors of these, but these can get expensive. This is the Aurora Aureta, which was a school pen of this same kind of design, and this is the Aurora 98, I guess. So there were some variations. I love this design of pens. If I could, I would have one of each from this family. So take this away and get the next batch. And the next are these. Can be these. I have no specific order to them. And to me, it is the Monte Grappa, and now we're getting in a higher range, the Monte Grappa Mia line. It is one of the less expensive pens, but in Monte Grappa standards, it's a lot of money, and I love them. This is the Spice. They are cartridge converter pens, steel nibs by Jovo, but with a beautiful engraving. I love these pens. This is the Spice Explosion, the Meteor Shower, and the Cityscape. There are maybe 6 more. I would love to have them all. One of those is no longer available. I think it was called the Everglades, and it was kind of a greenish and yellow. It was beautiful, but again, they are very expensive, and I cannot afford them all. Sometimes when I have enough affiliate balance, maybe in Appleboom, I'll try to buy a pen, or maybe if I find one used, but I never found one of those cheap enough. So if I could, I would have one of those. So one of these, one of each of those, please. But that is if I could afford them. I would love to have that Everglades. It is so beautiful, but it's completely sold out. If I could, I would buy one for its original price right now, but when they were available I couldn't, and maybe a couple of weeks later it was all sold out, so I don't think I'll ever get that. Another collection that I would love to have them all is the Pilot. Also, we're not talking about inexpensive pens like the Ginha pens. Is this is the Pilot Capless Carbonesque, and the Carbonesque are pens with this kind of design that reminds us of carbon fiber. They are regular Pilot Capless, but they have this kind of finish, and they are available in blue, the green, which is very rare to find. Then there is the common black, which is kind of easy to find. There is the white and also a red. The red is not that easy, but there it is still around. I could get them, but again, they are very expensive, and maybe I would need to sell some pens before I buy them, because with so many pens, how can I justify to have more expensive pens? But I really love this kind of variation of the Pilot Capless. Now I will need to go back to find another case, and we are going for the last two pens, which I would have one of each if I could. This is a collection that I started making many years ago. This is a big case that takes around around 50 pens. I think it's 48, and I have two of those with these pens, and this is not really a Parker 45, but it's in its way, but doesn't matter, but functionally it is a Parker 45. Then we have all these Parker 45s. You can see them there. Parker 45 to me is one of the best Parker models ever. I have here some more. I even have 3 desk pens of these. I really love these pens. I have them also here, and I have another case full of them. I think this design is amazing. They have amazing colors, and I think between real pens that were on the market and how can I say it, real regular editions and prototypes, maybe there are more than 100. If I have around 50, but I also I already have around 100, but I also collect some copies and pens from other brands that were inspired by them. So, but this is a cartridge converter pen. It was very well made. The nib was exchangeable by the user. They are very good to post and to write with. You can see they post really, really deep. So they are great pens. I really enjoy to have lots of colors, but I'm not actively searching for them anymore, because they are getting very hard to find. They are getting very expensive, at least outside the more modern colors. The older ones, like these very enjoyable colors, they are not there anymore. Sometimes I find in flea market some kind of more recent ones, very inexpensive, and then I find them, I buy them. But there are pens that are amazing. I love, for example, this color. I think this is great with the olive green. It is a beautiful. This pen is just gorgeous, in my opinion. I love it. And there are then some variations like these, which were kind of lady versions with no clip to go into a purse, and with this brocade finish. They were very nice, and I think the other one has a kind of this one has wood and it is golden, and it has kind of this ivory colored section. I think this is very, very interesting. So this pen is also highly collectible, and I have many more than I should for what I use. And now I'm going to show you the final pen that I'm actively trying to collect them all the variations I can. But it's getting very hard. I know that I have a very good collection of these pens. I know. I'm not trying to say that I'm great, not that, but I know that my collection is great by this time. But there are so many still missing in my collection, so many that it's kind of impressive. And I'm talking about, I guess you guessed this, it is the Kaweco Sport. I love the Kaweco Sport and I'm collecting actively. I have some vintage ones, but I'm collecting the pens that were released since the current administration of Kaweco company. And those pens were that era began in the 1990s, so I'm forgetting all the pens since 1883, just from the 1990s, and there are many Kaweco Sports like these are prototypes. These are pens that I do not have any documentation about them, which is kind of fun. This is the first range of them, the Ranger, the Yacht and the Tracker, then some that don't have any name, that we call them on our community, we call them the kitchen top. These pens are mostly cartridge converter pens, but there are also some piston pens. There are two very modern, very recent piston pens, but there are some piston pens, at least two, that were made by Visconti a few years ago, I guess in the year 2000, and I have some more here, like these with this plastic but with a metal finish, the ones that were marketed by Diplomat when they started again. They had to make a joint task to make these pens again. And in this other side I have some the Bunt Sport colors, which are very rare to find, the first generation of Kaweco Art Sport, the second generation of Kaweco Art Sport that goes until, let me bring this up, the second generation comes until here, and then the third generation, which I am missing one of the colors, the violet. If you have one, please let me know because I want one. And then I have the generation 4, and I have many more pens like these, and if I can, I'll get one of each. I'm really trying to get the most of Kaweco Sport pens that I can, and by this time, this again is the 48 pens case. I have 3 more of these cases that are completely full of Kaweco Sport, and I have one that is half full, so over 200 different Kaweco Sport pens, and these are the ones that I'm really trying to get them all. And just to finish this, because I was already forgetting those, to finish this video I have another ones that I would like to have them all, but again I can't because of its price, and it's this is the Parker Centennial Dufold, or actually the modern Parker Dufold. This is Centennial size, these are international size. I don't have them all. There are many more variations. They are expensive pens. I will not be able to have them all, but sometimes some strange stuff happens. This pen should cost maybe 300 euros or something like that, and I got it used for 40 euros. So sometimes that happens, and most of these pens were less than the price they cost. There is only one of these pens that I paid the full price, which was this one. This is a modern one that I really wanted to have, but these, for example, the full set of this one and the ballpoint, it was new in a store, it cost me 55 euros, the ballpoint and the fountain pen. So this is the Centennial Sport, and they have several variations. This one has this nib with the arrow. Then there are some more different nibs. Let me show you the 3 main nibs. I think this one has the other one. Yes, this one I need to be careful because this one has ink inside. It has the arrow with a banner saying Dufold on top. and I have the current ones, which, like these, have the kind of an ace of spades design. It is a cartridge converter pen. I really enjoy it, and these are the pens that I like. Of course, for you there may be many others, maybe the Sailor Pro Gear Slim Mini, some Twisby pens that are lots of variations, maybe Pelican M200, I'm not sure, but these are the pens that if I could afford them, I would have one of each. Of course, I cannot afford them. The ones that I'm really opening an exception for those are the Kaweco Sport pens that, for example, I would sell one of these if I had to buy a Kaweco Sport that was really important for my collection. So this is all I had to show you today. This is a video just showing pens and showing why, or the pens that I would buy, which are just the writing experience on this one is just the same as in this one and in this one. Anyway, I find them attractive, and I think that is also a fair thing to do. You don't buy them for a different experience, but you get them because they give you joy, and that's it. So can you please tell me on the comments below which kind of pens or which family of pens will give you that, or really does now give you that joy to get them all if you can. I would like to know your opinion in the comments. These are the pens that I really enjoy. So this is all for today. I hope you'll come back for more videos like this, and see you next time. Bye.